just left clapping on my own. Welcome to episode 8 of Stripped Down Live. We're back, and I'm happy to say tonight we have... Who do we have tonight?
The Daylights.
Oh, you could at least give me more than that. The Daylights tonight, who are unbelievable, I think. I mean, for me, this is such a joy to do the show because I actually get to, well, not necessarily pick all the bands, but I get to, choose bands that I love, and this happens to be one of those bands. So they will be here with us tonight. They're playing, obviously, acoustically. They don't normally, so we're stripping them down. We're going to get the songs in a rough form. So we will come back later. Obviously, you can follow us at strippeddownlive.com. You can follow us on Twitter at strippedlive. You can even follow us on Facebook. Tonight, I think that Streaming Garage, if I'm not mistaken, which is our little YouTube channel, may go over 1.5 million viewers. Is that correct? 1.5 million viewers. That's if more than 24 people tune in tonight. And we hope they will. So, without further ado, please welcome to the studio the Daylights.
I was born with a last name, made of lovers, sinners, fighters, and saints. There is no one left for no to blame. I am a king, a thief, a beggar, a sinner. They sell water on TV, says it makes you holy, like a spark glowing in the dark.
For the Daylights, thank you so much for having us. Ricky's going to sing this next song. It's called Rogue Machine. This is our new single that just got on the radio. I think I've never heard it. Have you guys heard it? People keep calling us and saying it's on the radio. So you guys got to request it. Let's do it together. Cool. What's the point in a Kevlar vest? You put a hole into my chest. 2 weeks are impossible. Don't say that you want me. Say that you need me. Let yourself go. Don't try pretending there is no feeling left in your bones. Chase a rabbit in the ground and wait for hours, no sight or sound. Looking for an inch of room. Stretch your lengthwise across the road from Montreal to Mexico. Don't say that you want me. Say that you need me. Let yourself go. Don't try pretending there is no feeling. We are intersecting lines. We crash and fly like a road machine. Light it burns my eye, and it's all I see. Don't say that you want me. Say that you need me. Let yourself go. Don't try pretending there is no feeling. Say that you want me. Say that you need me. Let yourself go. What's the point in a Kevlar vest? You put a hole into my chest. 2 weeks are impossible. Stretch your lengthwise across the road from Montreal to Mexico. Thank you guys. Thanks. This is fun. We never play like this. How are you guys doing out there in the internet world? Yeah? Have we ever done this before? Of course we've never done this before. Yeah. What does that mean? Oh, no way. Say horrible things about us. No good things? Okay, let's play, you want to play Outsider? Yeah, let's do it. All right. This is for all the nerds out there because we're one of them, collectively. We're nerd.
You should
are
speak
a
for
nerd.
yourself when you say those sorts of things.
standing on the edge of a beginning and an end. So this is what it feels like, the 87th floor of a high-rise in New York. There's something new this time, and I've known it since I was young, and I feel it in my bones. Yeah, but this is how it's always meant to go. Right here above the street, watching the city spin beneath. I couldn't help but feel like an outsider, lifted above the ground, seeing for the first time now I became outsider. I couldn't help but stare when I caught them standing there. Oh, I could see it in their eyes. Yeah, I saw it in their eyes. I can hear the song 'cause it's been playing all along. Oh, can you hear the singing? Oh, and I've known it since I was young, and I feel it in my bones. Yeah, but this is how it's always meant to go. Right here above the street, watching the city spin beneath. I couldn't help but feel like an outsider, lifted above the ground, seeing for the first time now. This is where I became outsider. Above the street, watching the city spin beneath. Lifted above the ground, seeing for the first time now. Outside. Everybody on Internet World, sing with us right now. La 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 la
I can just stand right here.
Yeah, you just hang out there.
There's another stool right
Well, we're going to grab another
Oh,
stool.
here we go. You take this one.
You see how organized we are here?
Oh, okay. Very organized.
So sharp.
I like it that way.
You know, the... is that a glockenspiel or a vibraphone? It's a glockenspiel. The glockenspiel player always gets to go.
Yeah. Yes. You gotta say it with a lisp, though.
You have to say with
Glockenspiel.
the glockenspiel girl always gets to go.
Do you think it's because they think he's tender?
I think, well, it was, you know,
stinky.
it's a phrase I stole from you. You know,
He doesn't watch his own webisodes.
you don't watch the webisode?
I
It
can't
was.
believe- Oh my God.
It was a whole thing of you. It was actually a vibraphone, I think you were playing.
Yeah.
But it was the vibraphone player always
I use
gets
that
to
line
go.
every time I did an overdub.
Right.
So with a better instrument.
It was when you were in London recording. But let me go. I want to go back a bit because it's interesting. I'm going through all these things, learning about you, and let me preface, even though we talked about it earlier, it was actually our keyboard player who works with me, Doug Petty, who first, while we were on tour, said, "You got to listen to this band, the Daylights." And I went to see him play in LA, I guess before he came on tour, and so I'm like watching it, going, "God, they're good." And so then the show came about, then I tried, when I got back, we started Stripped Down Live again. We'd only done 2 shows, this is our 8th. And so I set about finding you and discovered that Tim Palmer, who mixes our stuff, mixed a couple of tracks of yours. So went through Tim, found you, rest is history. So then I'm like trying to find out like all about the band. And we'll get on to episodes afterwards, but the one thing I couldn't find out, which I just discovered, which is one, where you come from, because all it said was LA on everything I could find.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean LA-based band.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Yeah.
So there's not a Wikipedia page about you yet, which is shocking.
I think we keep taking it down.
Yeah, there used to be one.
There used to be one?
Yeah.
But I mean, you're from Texas. I mean, 2, by the way, Ricky and Randy are brothers, obviously, as we can tell. Sven, not so much.
Brother from another mother.
Exactly. Well, a brother from another mother in another country. But
Our mother got around.
yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
It was on a...
She doesn't want
That came out wrong.
obviously, Mom spent some time in Denmark when
She's
she
on
was
Facebook.
younger. You know.
She's not.
Yeah, we have a
doesn't
Facebook
want to be on
page.
Oh,
We'll find her.
I didn't mean that.
But you were born in Texas originally,
Yes.
from
Dallas.
Texas, from Dallas, Texas.
Mhm.
So how'd you find your way to LA?
Brand, why don't you take that one?
Well, we
it's
chased the
confusing.
rabbit hole.
I mean, was it music that brought you here, is what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, it was. We,
Initially.
we went to Nashville for a number of years, and we were
Right.
writing songs there for other artists.
Right.
And then we...
Which is what people do in Nashville.
Yeah, it's what you do.
It's weird.
Yeah.
And
It's
so
strange.
we learned how to write songs in Nashville, and then we moved to LA to unlearn how to write songs.
Right, and to do your own stuff, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think we were hearing some of the songs we were getting cut. It was great, it was fun, but we wanted to do them ourselves, you know. And so we started the band, and very quickly I think we realized that LA was a place for a rock band for us, you know.
Right.
So.
And then, but then you have to come to sort of making a record. So when you got here, how did you meet Sven initially?
Well,
Well, it's kind of funny.
I got a call.
I mean, he's been around, as we know.
About 4 years ago. Yeah, actually, Karina, who was here,
Yes.
played with her for a while. So that's one of the things I was doing at that time, playing with Karina around and a lot of other artists. And out of the blue, I get a call from their management, and they're looking for a drummer. And out of the list that they got, with 20 or 40 drummers or something, they all had a little...
Drummers.
Yeah, I was number
Really?
21 on this list. So it took them a while to get to my name, and I think the reason was that every name had a little word behind it, or beside it, and mine was animal. So I think it scared them off a little bit. But, I've been...
Or they're Muppet freaks.
Yeah,
One or the other.
one of the two.
Well, you don't get to see him play Animal on a little thing.
No, I
like
mean,
this, but, you know,
I've seen it live. I mean,
you definitely
you know,
get
what's actually interesting, you know, watching, and you know, all I have is, I've not seen you in concert, but I've seen you live on YouTube, as live as you can get.
Mhm.
But
Scary live.
the sound is kind of so big for just 3 people, which is pretty amazing. But yeah, I mean, and the way you play just fits in so well with that, you know, because I
Yeah,
mean,
well, then I dropped everything I was doing, and it's been the Daylights ever since.
right.
Yep.
And then, so the next steps from there was, I mean, I know you ended up going to England to record an album.
Mhm.
How did you get to there? Other than, did you just? I mean, the album was produced by a guy called Youth,
Yeah.
who some people may have heard of, as we were talking about earlier. You know, people have heard of him from U2 and Paul McCartney. I know him more from,
James.
you know, James, The Verve,
Yeah.
Cult as well. In fact,
Yeah.
I think he worked with as well.
Killing Joke.
And the fact he was in Killing Joke and wrote and produced with Killing Joke. Yeah.
I think that was one of the reasons we were really drawn to him for a long time, is because he's done such a range of work, but all of it has a very creative aspect to it. You know, he's very heady in the way he thinks. You know, and he can get in. He can I think team up with any artist that comes into the studio and pull something out, pull their best work out of them.
Right.
What I
you
like
know?
about him is that he produces a lot of melodic music, and we're huge fans of melody ever since we were
Right.
babies. And we grew up listening to very European music. Sven grew up listening to very American music, so it's kind of funny I think that's one of the reasons why it works. And also youth kind of, you know, we kind of felt like we had kind of a global sound, maybe because of the fact that we listen to European music and he listens to American music, maybe
Right.
that alone, I don't know.
But there actually was one quote which I couldn't quite make out, because I don't know if it got lost in translation or you got misquoted, which was, they grew up listening to American, I grew up listening to American music, they grew up listening to music from my hometown. It was like, what?
Well,
you like this one specific town in Denmark,
Yeah.
Copenhagen. Copenhagen has a lot of great music, though.
But did you grow up listening to music from
Well, that's
Copenhagen?
We actually did.
You did?
We did.
They started
That wasn't
playing
a
me
misprint.
bands that I should have introduced to them, but I
Right.
didn't. They already knew.
Oh, so you
bands
did.
Like
So they were big
Kashmir.
aficionados. It wasn't...
Yeah.
Okay.
A band like Kashmir from Copenhagen, they knew about before I did, or no, not before I did, but I didn't tell them about them.
Right.
So
Yeah, there's some great Swedish bands, too, that we were following quite a bit, and
Well, there's actually a lot of good Scandinavian bands.
so many.
Norwegian as well.
just
but
get kind of looked over in the American
Yeah.
markets. That
Kings
we
of
just,
Convenience are my favorite. They're
Mhm.
Norwegian.
Oh,
Yeah,
great.
and Kent was one of our favorites growing up.
Yeah,
So.
there's a whole bunch. But it is. I mean, listening to the music, it is actually quite European.
Yeah,
We don't
and
fake
I remember
British
you
accents,
said
though.
that as well.
No.
No, we don't.
Which, thankfully, yes.
Yeah.
I've read
Yeah.
too many Madonna children's books. She writes in an English accent, which is very annoying.
You know what's weird, though, is I've always looked down on it quite a bit when people fake accents. But if you listen to even like Bob Dylan when he's singing Mr. Tambourine Man, he kind of fakes a little.
Yeah, but
accent,
but it doesn't the same work the other way around. I mean, we all fake American accents.
Hmm.
It's true, the Stones kind of
You
have
know,
a little bit of
well,
a
we all
twangy-
do, and it's twofold. To be honest, I think it's somewhat to do with the fact that you know we're brought up with American music in a big way, in specifically in England.
Mhm.
I think probably all over Europe, but also the vowel sounds are easier to sing.
In-
I mean, they are. They're actually better in an American accent than they are in an English.
Really?
Huh.
Do you think
Yeah,
so?
I think so. Yeah, I mean
Hmm.
they're because they're slurred.
Yeah.
So they actually roll off the tongue a lot easier than
makes sense.
English, than that kind of round, kind of mad and hello.
Yeah.
It doesn't sing well.
Well,
you
I
know?
think if I could choose, I don't know. So
There were times when we would be singing on the mic where I'd chime in and say, "You sound like you're from Manchester. Back it off a little bit."
Well, no, but She Loves You, Yes, Yes, Yes wouldn't have the same kind of thing.
Yeah.
No,
You
no,
know.
that's true.
Not really.
Yes, yes, yes.
But so you ended up going. I mean, I'm guessing you just approached Youth to produce you.
We were huge fans, obviously, since he did stuff from. I mean, Bittersweet Symphony was one of my
Right,
favorites,
yeah.
and he had worked on that, and just a lot of our favorite songs. So we had called and tried to make it happen, and I think it was one of those things. Even when it was just going to cost so much money because he's a really expensive producer, but I guess he heard the music, and we just said, "Hey, would you please let him listen to it?" You know.
Well, originally we had been told, we didn't have enough money,
Right.
and so we began to pursue other options. And it was like months later that we had heard that he was driving along in Spain and had it on his iPod, and his manager put it on his iPod, and he heard it, and he called her and said, "Let's do it. Let's figure
Well,
out."
I
a way
mean,
to
I
make
think,
it work."
and which is actually refreshing when you find like people you work
Yeah.
with that actually, make that kind of money, but they already have the money. So
Yeah.
I think
you
he
know,
had some
when
really-
he still has a passion for music. That's the point. You know?
Yeah, I
he's
think
not doing it for
like
the
so-
paycheck.
like a house had burned down or something like that. He
Right.
had money really bad. No, and you know what? The experience of recording with him was a really amazing experience. Not just in the studio, but the idea of being in. We were in Richmond,
Yeah.
and just being in that town for a month and getting to know everyone in our bed and breakfast to the pubs on the way to where we were going to wash our clothes, and it was around.
I always thought pubs should be on the way back, but okay.
Oh, we on the way there too.
both. But
Depends what time of day you start.
Yeah.
I'm guessing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there wasn't a lot of food choice in the town where we were.
no, but there was Thanksgiving around the time, and
And
we-
Sven made Thanksgiving dinner.
yeah. Do you know
He cooked the turkey.
We had 75 people come to our Thanksgiving dinner, just people that we had met the whole time we were there. So like the whole town, we just wanted to live there, and it was just a beautiful experience. So I think it kind of comes across in the music,
yeah, we were
Definitely
definitely
felt real.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to me, it just seems that he took it to its essence, which was great. You know, I mean, I mean, the first, having seen all these webisodes, and by the way, where's the camera over there? If you get a chance, go on YouTube and watch the Daylight's webisodes, because if one, they're kind of educational. It's always good to know about a band beforehand, but they're pretty damn funny at times.
Depends on what time of the morning it is, doesn't it?
Well, no, I'm you know, I was, and I kind of got addicted to them. I had to see them all, you know, because it's sort of like what's going on there, and because it was so honest, which was great, because I mean, it actually like documented you leaving LA, flying to London, getting to the studio. Walking into the studio, like down here is the amp room, and it's like kid with new toy over here. It's like, oh my god, it's like gold, all these amps.
I actually blew the best amp in the studio like 2 or 3 times during the process. They had to go get it repaired because I had it great.
The thing about our webisodes is Finn's the one that edits them, so it's kind of like a labor of love for him. So he just puts in his favorite stuff.
Oh, so he's the one with the sense of humor then.
There you go.
Well, that's why we haven't had too many lately, because we just haven't had the time. Honestly, you know, it was a little different previously. So now we have help doing those kind of things. So hopefully very soon we're gonna have a few more webisodes coming out.
Yeah, I mean, I think, and you know, for me, even starting this show and talking to people, sometimes when you listen to music, when you kind of get to know someone, you get to chat to them, talk to them, the music makes more sense a lot of the time. Like for me, when I'm listening to your stuff, and I obviously listened to it a bunch before I watched any of those, but actually kind of sort of knowing you by the end of those, a lot of it made more sense. Like you could get into it, you're invested in it.
I think it went the other way as well, because when we found out we were going to be on the show, we watched the show. And so it was fun going back and listening to, you know, our favorite Tears for Fears songs and going, oh, that's insane.
I mean, not that it matters, but I mean, that's part of the European influence for us too. So it's quite an honor to be on here, because I think we actually ruined tapes and CDs because they played so many times. It's just like they don't even work anymore. Now that we just need to kind of frame them and say that doesn't work anymore. You know, so I mean, we absolutely wore them out. So it's a huge honor to be here. So
we're so glad to have you here. I gotta say,
the new record too.
The new record is phenomenal.
Oh, I think it's a great record, but that's just me. But I could be biased.
And the same mixer, which was amazing.
Yeah.
But some of the songs on there, like The Devil, it's one of some of my favorite harmonies.
When can we bring
you like the darker ones?
When can we interview you?
I have the Split Your Wrist songs. Ricky likes the happy.
You have to have your own web
songs.
show and interview me afterwards. You know?
Yeah, I want to interview you and find out.
I'll tell you what. Next time when you start filming webisodes again, I'll just jump in.
She likes it.
But the whole, I mean, it seemed like such a, you know, it was wild for me watching you in the studio with Youth, and I don't know if you had the same feeling, because I had this feeling when I first went to like Abbey Road, and I mean, I'm there, and I'm not a gearhead. I mean, I'm really actually not that much of a nerd, because other people kind of do that, because for me, I have a hard time separating what sounds good to what looks good. And that's just me. I can't be a computer guy. Someone else has to do that. I just want to sit back and listen to it.
Yeah.
But even I was sitting there with the studio and going, oh my God, he's got like, is it a BBC disc? I don't know, but it's the one with the, you know, it's like I'm flying an airplane.
Yeah, it was the same
It's
console.
all analog stuff, you know, old analog stuff.
And one of the cool things is if we'd say, hey, can you get this sound that Lennon used to have on his voice on this song?
Right.
He would say, oh yeah, I can totally get it because I have that microphone.
Right.
I have that. You know,
and I have that compressor.
Yeah,
and actually the console.
And I have a desk with Keith and Mick scratched in it.
There you go.
I see it.
Yeah, you saw that. I was about to tell that story, but that would have been anticlimactic.
So where did it come from? I mean, obviously the Stones used it at some point. It was that their names were carved into it.
And we carved our names in next. No.
Yeah, I heard
when
they
were
were threatening to carve their names into it.
But yeah, I think it gave it a warmth for sure, and especially in such a digital age, to be using so much analog equipment. Is incredible.
Well, there's a certain warmth to analog equipment which you can't, you just can't replicate. I mean, there's no way you can reproduce that.
Yeah, and everything we've ever done has been kind of in our house. We have our own studio.
Right.
And so to go in and kind of work with guys that really, really know what they're doing, and we can kind of back off and not be gearheads and just perform. That was something exciting.
Yeah,
for
and
us,
what's funny is
liberating.
it's come kind of full circle where there are effectively apps, if you had the phone, where there are programs that analog stuff up for you. I mean, you're doing everything
yeah.
on computer, but they're like, you need the analog sound, then add this to it.
Yeah.
True.
And so you're kind of going back and getting that
Especially
analog
plugins
sound
and
again.
things like
Yeah,
that.
all the plugins that will make it sound analog for you.
Yeah.
But actually, the one issue I did have with Youth is he doesn't know how to make a cup of tea for crap.
Mhm.
But
Oh, the tepid
that's
tea.
dreadful. Dreadful. No, his tea making thing was awful.
Was
That's
it?
not how you make a cup of tea.
Oh, we have
That
to
is
find
so
this out.
not how you
And we've
make
been
it.
having
How
bad
do you make
tea
a cup of
for
tea?
years.
I mean, he made a cup of tea like an American makes a cup of tea.
Really?
Yeah.
Tell
He
us.
put a tea bag in a cup and poured hot water on it and added the milk afterwards. And then he stirred it. I mean,
How do you
before
make
taking the tea
how do
bag
you make
out.
a cup of tea?
You need a pot for one,
Oh, yeah.
okay? You need a teapot, then you have to warm the pot because the pot has to be warm.
Okay.
Then you put the tea bags in the pot and then you add the water. You never stir it because it releases the tannin, which makes it bitter.
Oh.
And then you put the milk in first.
You put the milk in your
Milk
cup.
in first after it's brewed for a good few minutes so it's darkish. You put the milk in the cup first, then the tea goes in.
Do you
He
want
doesn't know
But
how to
that's
make
making tea for more than one person, then, isn't it?
No, you can
No.
do that for yourself too.
Oh,
Small
wow.
teapot,
I
whatever.
love
That's
that
how
we'll
my
walk away
dad
from
used to
this,
make tea.
and that'll change the rest of our lives, the way we make
It will.
tea, I'm sure.
I mean, trust
We
me. I
still
will.
drink a lot of tea.
I was tempted to bring in a teapot and a kettle and just
Sure.
show you how to really
table
make
right
tea.
here and be like, okay, let's do this. Let's do this right.
We did have a lot of bad tea then because we drank a lot of
No,
tea.
it was, and I even looked at the color of it, and it was so like light and hideous, and it was like, no, tea should be kind of darkish and
No, none of the guys there liked dark tea because the first few times I would bring them a
Yeah,
dark
it's
cup
strong
of tea.
tea
and they
because
were,
there's so much
"Mm."
caffeine in tea, which I don't know
Yeah.
if you know that or not,
Oh,
but there is.
You take sugar with your tea?
No, I don't take sugar with tea. No.
No.
No. That's sacrilege.
Everyone back home is going to be trying out some tea today.
Yeah, exactly. I do make
Earl
a good
Grey,
cup
we
of tea.
love Earl Grey.
We should get on to music. We're going to come back. We're going to talk some more because I know there's a bunch more. There's other stuff from the webisodes which were kind of funny. And there's a whole bunch of questions from the chat room. I know we're getting a whole bunch of traffic there. So I'm going to let you play a few more songs. We'll come back. We'll chat a bit more. We'll take questions from
Awesome.
the chat room. And
Cool.
Please welcome back the Daylights.
So we're gonna sing a new song. I don't believe we've ever played this song for anybody live. Well, not 1.5 million people. The song is called Oh Oh.
The sun rose like a mirror ball and showed the writing on the wall. Oh, don't you have any faith at all? I can't prove it now, but watch me talk, watch me talk, watch me. Oh, 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 oh. I think I'm gonna lose control. Oh, 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 oh. I'm giving you my heart, so oh, 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 oh. I'm never gonna let you go. Oh, 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 oh. I think I'm not worth a dime. Laying here so lonely I could cry. I tasted honey so sweet that I could die. Oh, when will I be satisfied? Satisfied. Oh, 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 oh. I think I'm gonna lose control. Oh, 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 oh. I'm giving you my heart, it's so oh, 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 oh. Never gonna let you go. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. I think I'm gonna lose control. Oh, 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 oh. I'm never gonna let you go. Oh, 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 oh. I'm giving you my heart, it's so oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. I think I'm gonna lose control. Oh, 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 oh. I'm giving you my heart, it's
that button, by the way. So this is a song called "Guess I Missed You." I wrote it about the most polar opposite of that last song that we could have sung. I wrote this song about a girl. I wrote it about an addiction. It's true. What's the difference? That's what I want. The crush turns to love and rust. Maybe you were too much to be with or without. All the roads lead to the very same dead-end street. I swear I tried everything. Guess you'd come around. Always run, she can't always get away. The setting sun just comes another day. Oh, I don't know what I came back for. And to see your face once more. Guess I miss you. Yeah. Guess I miss you. The prettiest things sometimes are the dangerous things. They wear their clip-on wings, lily of the night. Oh, cross my heart to live this day. Don't wanna miss a second, even a second without you. Always run, she can't always get away. 'Cause the setting sun just comes another day. And I can try all night, there's nothing left to say. Oh, I don't know what I came back for. To see your face once more. I guess I miss you. Miss you. Yeah, I guess I miss you. Oh, I guess I miss you. Yeah. Oh, always run, can't always get away. The setting sun just comes another day. And I can try all night, there's nothing left to say. Oh, I don't know what I came back for. To see your face once more. Guess I miss you. Yeah. Guess I miss you. Miss you. Yeah, I guess I miss you. Yeah, I guess I miss you. Oh, miss you. Miss you. Yeah, I guess I miss you. Thank you. Thanks. Well, I tried to make it on my own, did my best to get along. I tried, it's no use. Every winning streak just ends. Lonely days become the trend without you. So you can make me, only you can make me happy, me happy. Yeah. I'd lie if I told you how I felt. There's not a word I think would help. My love, it burns, you know. I'm supposed to be with you. I'm a madman, a fool to be so, to be so. Only you can make me, only you can make me happy, me happy. Oh, only you can make me, only you can make me happy, me happy. I don't even recognize myself. Wanna be with anybody else. It's hard to live like this. I couldn't have it any other way. Wouldn't wanna live another day without. I don't even recognize myself. Wanna be with anybody else. It's hard to live like this. Couldn't have it any other way. Wanna live another day without, without. 'Cause only you can make me, only you can make me happy.
I'm gonna start playing the electric from now on.
Swap over just on the spot.
I've always wanted to be an electric guitarist. I've just never practiced.
Yeah, I mean, because normally when you're playing live, you play bass, right? I mean, I know you play acoustic on a couple of things.
Yeah, like one or two songs maybe.
Yeah.
And some
Always
key
like-
things too.
And vibraphone to get the checks.
That's right. Yeah. No, that's me still.
I know,
I
that's
get
still
it.
you. Yeah.
Try to play as many instruments as you can so people think that you're smart.
Yeah.
But I got to say, I was like listening to all the music, and there's not a weak song on the album, I got to say, which is always refreshing when I'm listening to records, because so many like records, or when I say records, of course, you know, kids don't know what records are anymore, but a group of recordings as opposed to single tracks, you know, to hear a complete album is kind of a joy, and obviously you put a lot of effort into doing that, and the songwriting craft. And it was funny, we had Gary Jaws on the show a few weeks ago, and I've known Gary for a while, and I was talking about, like, sometimes you try and analyze lyrics, you know, and he said, he actually quoted Bob Dylan, he said, you know, you just basically write the same song lots and lots of times. And it was actually quite eye-opening, because I kind of listened to things in a different way, because I listened to old records I did, and I'm like, you know what, that's pretty much true throughout a lot of it.
About
I
that
mean,
writer's essence, about what.
well, yeah, or it may change through the years, but normally a body of work you do together has the same emotional context, you know,
Yeah.
it has the same kind of thing. And so I'm listening to yours going, what's the feeling I'm left with? And so I guess I'm leading up to a question, and I'll get there. So the feeling I was left with was passion, which is that you kind of, things in half measures don't really interest you. That it's all about kind of, I want you know, I don't want you to want me, I want you to need me. You know, it's always those kind of lyrics where, and even watching, again, going back to webisodes of when you take time off and I'm going shooting. You know, I mean, it's those kind of things. I'm like thinking, well, maybe they're going to, you know, go to a library. I don't know. But it's
We do
that kind of
too.
passion thing that you seem to have. And I mean, is that where a lot of the songwriting comes from?
Yeah, I think that would be a good surmise. I mean, what we like to do is, I mean, we'll write anything that I mean, I think some of the songs on the record are actually kind of trite, like Digital Kiss, but it's still actually a passionate
Well, it's the same
message.
thing. You know, you'll have ones and zeros and everything in between.
Mm-hmm.
So it still has the same
Yeah,
thing. I
props,
mean,
yeah.
it
Yeah.
still has that.
Yeah, maybe so.
Everything is not just that plain. It's not just ones and zeros. You're everything in between those ones and zeros as well. So
Yeah.
it still has that edge to it, where it's kind of, you know, I only get ones and zeros, but to me there's more to that.
Very smart guy.
You know.
Yeah.
That's very intuitive.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I feel like that you know, we didn't join up in a band just so that we could bash around on instruments. You know, I
No.
feel like
Or have records on the wall, which would be nice.
yeah. I feel like-
But that's not why.
That's not why either.
Yeah.
You know.
No, but I feel like we have something to say, and we really want to say it, you know, and I think if you listen to the lyrics on the record, then it's there, you know, and,
Yeah.
and I think that as we continue to write, we're going to delve into some different themes, but right now definitely passion and hope are big ones, you know. Like we're not a band. I think that kids ourselves to think that we're going to be like guys on a giant, massive stadium stage, like giving hope.
Yeah, although
but-
it can translate to that, but you know, you're actually questioning more than you're telling people to hope.
and that's the thing.
Yeah.
I think that actually the most powerful you know, statements come in with a question mark.
Well, I
at the
mean,
end.
it's like a song like Happy, which you just played, which is the only other time I've heard a song about happiness that sad was, I don't know if you're a fan of the Blue Nile, but the Blue Nile have a song called Happiness, which is the same thing, which is like kind of a darkish, and if you just listen to melody and arrangement, it's actually very, very sad, but
Yeah.
about happiness.
And it also has that little have or has. I'm Danish right now.
Yeah.
It has.
Language
Has.
all the time.
It also has that very, very true thing in there that probably originates. Is that a word?
Originates.
Ah.
Yeah, don't worry, we can translate. Well,
Yeah,
we-
reiterate.
reiterates.
Okay, what you just said is like it says you know
This has got to be fun.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
so much fun.
it says only you can make me happy, but it also second chorus says if only you could make
If
me
only,
happy.
yeah.
Yeah, we
So-
threw that in at the very end just because I feel like it's actually the
That
biggest
kinda-
question, you know.
Yeah, that kind of says exactly what you were saying. You know.
I don't think I was saying that, but no, I'm
question mark.
kidding. The question mark, yes.
Uh-huh.
Well, no, it is. I mean, it is. It could be one of those things. I'm big into punctuation, as people who know me know, but it's like
Right.
the miss and ed and brackets in parentheses, as you people call it,
Mhm.
brackets, as we like to
Brackets.
call it. Yeah. I mean, I would have been torn between whether to make that song happy or happy with a question mark at the end. You know?
Ah.
It would have been. It's one of
Oh,
you know.
that would've
It's one
been
of
good.
those things.
We're just printing the
I
second
play
batch
I play
right
with
now.
those things a lot of the time. We should take some questions from the chat room in a second. Although I did want to, there was a couple of things I should get out of the way, because again, going back to the webisodes, and if anyone does get the chance to watch them, because there are some classic lines for me in some of them. I mean, it's sometimes like watching Spinal Tap, and you even have a, you know, Hello Cleveland in there.
Yes.
I mean, when I think, was it whoever it was that was trying to like tie the seatbelt around the equipment in the back of the van,
Yeah.
and whoever turned around and said, "Is that a Windsor knot?" That's one of the lines that kind of stuck out. Is that a Windsor knot?
I don't even remember that.
Oh yeah, I mean,
It sounds like
it's one of those
something that would
things
be
that's
said.
like, well, but if it was in a movie, you'd be like, that'd be the line you remember. Was that a Windsor knot? And And then the speed skating episode, which I think was that you were in Minnesota, were you? I think.
No,
no,
Salt Lake
Sundance.
City.
maybe.
Salt Lake City.
It was Utah. Okay.
I was asleep in the back. I had nothing to do
Right.
with that.
And then that's whoever it was that was starting to, because it was kind of grainy. But it's like, yeah, I'm a speed skater, and that's what I do normally. And you start speed skating. My problem is because I'm a speed skater, I can only turn left.
Oh, that was me. I was awake for that one. That was an ambi turner.
Another line, which is like, except I can only turn left. Let me. I just wanted to share those because those are parts that I found
that
amusing.
one, but
You know what's funny about
Just
this?
to encourage people to watch some of them because they are pretty funny and subtly funny, which I always appreciate.
I wish you could have heard our conversation on the way up here because it was something that probably should have been recorded because we joke around too much, guys. Let's be a little more serious. We're going to have a serious conversation. We're going to talk about music in a serious manner, and you're not going to laugh at your own jokes, and you're not going to say stupid things, okay, guys? And we're like, and now all we're talking about
That's always
Yeah.
That's my fault, basically. Though. See, you can't blame yourself for that. That's
And then again, we have lyrics that want something more out of live than just the surface stuff, and then we joke around all day.
No, I mean, but to me, that's what gets the balance of understanding a songwriter and an artist, though, isn't it? Is to get to know the personality. If all you knew about the personality was the lyric, then you wouldn't know the whole. I mean, you wouldn't get the whole thing. You wouldn't know where the emotion was coming from. If I didn't know, watching all those things, that you were actually pretty amusing but have this darker side and you're very passionate about a lot of things, including humor, it would seem, then I wouldn't get the whole picture. I mean, that's, I think, isn't that the sort of whole point of doing things like this is to actually get a personality across.
But I think
more than
for
just a song.
part of us, though, I think that one of the things we like is kind of tricking ourselves out, finding new aspects of who we are, especially when we're writing or recording, you know. So I think we're always trying to, you know, find another side, another mirror.
Today we will be serious.
Yeah.
But our favorite is the mixture musically of ugly and pretty.
Yeah.
We love that. You know, the way.
No, I think.
balances
I mean,
out.
I think that's a great thing. I mean, I always would fault even myself of going back years where, you know, even being interviewed, I was serious all the time. But I write very serious songs, and I'm actually not like that all the time. I write songs about that.
Yeah.
Because I can't talk about it most of the time. Most of the time, I'm actually not like that. But
Well, I
it's
can
an
show you some
interesting-
tricks if you want me to.
yeah, let's take some questions before the tricks. Maybe it's someone else. Jolaka, do we think that would be pronounced? It'll do. Jolaka in the chat room asked, does LA provide any songwriting inspiration? Well, I mean, outsider seemed New York, but any things that LA is provided you with inspiration? I mean, did you get any inspiration when you moved here initially? Because, I mean, a lot of people find it difficult.
When we
they
first
come
moved here, we thought we were going to fall into a scene, you know, that was very like, you know, we had heard these heralded tales of the Sunset Strip, and when we got here, it was nothing but, you know, 80s metal bands.
Yeah.
And so we were a little bit disenchanted for the first bit that we moved to Los Angeles. But we kind of,
Never mind, go ahead.
at first. And then I think we fell into this group of friends that were really cool and awesome.
Well, I think the thing about LA is finding the people
Yeah,
you
you
like.
find your
You
niche,
find
you know.
your people at some
And if you see our house, it's like it looks like a log cabin, you know, it's
Right.
with a little white picket fence. It's not LA at all. So we kind of just made our own home away from home.
Is it like the white picket fence, like another thing, the Katy Perry tour, which you did, which there were all these white
She
picket
took her
fences.
picture in front of our... No, she didn't.
But exactly like that.
Also, there's a song that we just played, Guess I Missed You. And that's a really interesting question, by the way. Thanks for asking that. It says, cross my heart, hope to live, just one more... and it talks about the lily of the Nile, and that's like it's a flower that's actually poisonous, but it's really beautiful. And it looks to me like a lot of these things in LA that are just like you want to touch it and it looks like candy, but it's totally going to bite you back. And there's a lot of that we've been writing about when it comes to LA. So
Luckily, they've now separated. All that crap is on TMZ and all that.
Yeah.
You know, they now at least have that separation of church and state. It's like superficial crap over here, something meaningful over here. You know, before it used to be more confusing years ago to me because it was all kind of mixed up. Where the sort of people that actually did something that was quite that actually may be meaningful mixed with all those people as well, and it was confusing because you didn't know. But now there seems to be a definite separation where you kind of. Those are the people you want to avoid. You want to be over here because these are the people that actually care about what they're doing.
Yeah,
Sure.
and it was good for us too because we just locked ourselves away.
Right.
You know, when that period happened where we were just kind of disenchanted, we kind of locked ourselves away and just began to work. And that was the reason we moved to LA. And had we come here and gotten comfortable and started playing rounds of golf every week, I don't think we'd be in a band still, you know. I actually thought I was going to be training for the senior PGA when I was living in Nashville and just being comfortable and eating barbecue, you know. But here it's like we're
you
trying
did
to
say,
be a rock
and also
band.
actually you did say at one point that you stopped listening to records.
Yeah.
And actually the one comment I have on that, you say you didn't buy the last 2 Coldplay records, just to let you know they were the same as the ones before. But just my humble opinion.
You're like the chat room just burst into flames.
It was a bunch of piano and some singing. I don't know, and I actually am a Coldplay fan, but I would like them maybe to explore.
Well,
a
I
bit
imagine
more
we would
now and
be.
again.
We probably would be
Yeah.
Coldplay fans, but because I'm sure it's great music. But for us, you know, when you get 1 or 2 references that say, "Hey, you kind of
Yeah.
sound like Coldplay,"
You
we're like,
want to
"Oh,
stop
well,
listening to it.
Yeah,
we're
people
listening
say
to
we
that again."
sound like Jeff Buckley, and we've never listened to Jeff Buckley in our lives, really.
Right.
So the same.
Yeah, I
kind
was
of
going.
thing.
I would go for more of the. I would have gone for more of the James and kind of echoing them. All my
Yeah.
references were actually English, to be honest. Listening to it musically.
But we go through phases where sometimes we'll listen to a lot of records, but never records in the same genre of music. I don't think, you know.
Right.
And then other times it's like silence. It's like monk treatment or something, you know.
What are you
musically.
listening to right now?
Well, most of the time it's stuff to do with this show. A lot of the time, I mean, because I'm working at the same time. So if I'm in the studio and recording and doing stuff, and then I'm researching for this and listening to bands that I really want to come on this show. After that, I'm like, you know, okay, it's my kid time now. I don't listen to that much, and I don't really listen. You know, I mean, it's nice when I hear some music come along. I mean, I went to see friends of mine's band last week, and there was actually this girl. Holly, what's Holly's last name? Holly Miranda, who was just ridiculous. And sometimes you're just in the right place at the right time where you go, whoa. And so I went home and I'm like listening to everything she's done because she was so good. But normally I find stuff by accident a lot of the time. I mean, I don't really go searching for it because, you know, as you know, once it becomes kind of what you do every day, sometimes you just don't want to listen to music.
Yeah.
You know, you want other inspiration. You
Absolutely.
Want, you know,
Well, that was one of the things while we were recording. Youth was like, go to the museum today.
Yeah.
Like, stop. Don't go out and
Yeah,
just go to the museum or go to Richmond Park, which actually we named a couple tracks because it was such an enchanting experience where we would go and, you know, we'd be sitting there reading and all of a sudden reindeer would run by and that was the biggest source of inspiration, far more than had we gone to our room and tried to cop off another band or something.
No, I mean, I think those are things, listening to a lot of music are things you do when you're kind of younger, and then as you get older and progress and develop your own style, you tend to listen to less and less because you've developed your own style, and this is and you find that it's other things that influence what you write, not music. No.
So when you're creating, when you're writing or in the studio, do you find yourself listening to lots
I don't
of music?
listen to any other music in the studio. No, I mean, it's normally like I know what the song should be about, and then that's it. You're focused on that and trying to. You know what the emotion is, so you've got to create that musically. And that's the sort of where the hard work. Well, sometimes it's not, sometimes it is. But that's where the
nice
work
when it's
comes
easy.
in. Yeah. Let me take Lucy99. Lucy99 in the chat room asks a related question. Did the places you grew up have any major effect on your music or in general?
That's a good question, too. I think we grew up in Texas. I mean, it's different for you probably because you're just into, like, Robbie Williams and stuff like that. Right?
Did you say Robbie Williams?
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah.
Growing up in Copenhagen, which one of the most gorgeous places you'll ever
Most
go
beautiful
to.
people too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there was a lot of country music around, and not that we were into country, but we were. I'm like talking to you like you're a person. It's like, but there's definitely a rootsy aspect to Texas music, and also there's kind of a mentality that you don't want to act like you're bigger than your britches. So there's an honesty that you better have if you're going to be respected. So
yeah, they can sniff out a fake pretty quick in Texas, you know.
Truly. So.
But there was a time when I
I
wasn't.
mean, there is definitely some Americana, if I want to use
yeah.
any phrase at all, in what you do, and then that even comes out on stuff you film. I mean, when you're around, and landscape stuff when you're in the van and all that, that kind of, you're in America, that goes with the music.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, Outsiders kind of like, I mean, we were raised like preachers' kids, you know. My dad was like not a preacher, but, you know, very much in that kind of a world. and then but we were always too dirty for that stuff,
Right.
But because of that, maybe sometimes we feel like we don't know where we are. We're just like, we're just outsiders. Who cares? We're just screw ups, that love people. Whatever. It is what it is. So I mean, I think it's all a balance, maybe, and a lot of it had to do with where we came from,
And what does it do?
what
I
we're
mean,
experiencing now.
I mean, as far as you working a lot, and initially, I knew you were brothers. Then I find out, you're twin brothers, and because I'm there watching all these things, and I'm not excluding you here for a second, but this is, no, I mean, one interesting question for me, because if it was my brother, I'd kill him, but we're not twins. So, does that make a difference to your work? I mean, do you have those fights that escalate purely because you're brothers, or do you have that? I mean, I actually have nieces who are twins, and so they have this thing where they don't get in fights.
Oh, no, we weren't that twin.
Yeah.
We weren't that twin.
And we took karate when we were in 6th grade, and that changed everything.
Yeah.
But does it kind of go quickly though?
Yeah, you know what? You wake up the next morning and you're like, whatever. I mean, anybody else would have to be in counseling, and
Right.
possibly maybe we should. But no, I mean, it's one of those things where it's a burst of lightning and then it's kind of done. It fizzles out, But yes,
And that's why I'm there.
Yeah.
No, I mean, that was the next question I was going to have was, do you have to mediate?
He tries-
Because it's interesting
Well-
because we have, I mean, being in a band with two people, and we're not obviously brothers, let alone twin brothers, but we'd always need someone else there, even though we're actually a duo.
Yeah.
We'd always
Yeah.
need a producer or someone that would sit there when, like, throw the casting vote or mediate when there's just, hold on, you're both kind of, this is just emotional,
Yeah.
you're not being rational.
Well,
here.
a lot of times what happens when people discuss in general is that they don't really necessarily listen to
Right.
what the other person is saying. So, and not realizing that other person is actually saying something that's pretty close to what you are.
Yeah, it's not a million
so
miles
sometimes
away.
it's just a matter of shedding light on that fact, and then it's like, oh, okay, we're not actually that far apart, so let's find that medium road, and that's
it's not about
usually
who's
what
right or wrong
happens.
here, it's about,
Yeah.
you actually...
Find the middle road.
Well, I don't really know what I wasn't really listening, but what I
Oh,
was
that's
gonna say
nice.
is
That's nice.
but I'm actually super surprised that it's got to. I don't know why in the world we're in a band together. I can't believe that Ricky and I are actually in a band together, because we thought, and our parents and everybody growing up thought, no way in the world they'll be within 1,000 miles of one another. So it's there's some sort of reason.
Sven even mediates musically. There was a really cool thing with that song "Rogue Machine" that is it's cool because I had kind of come up with the string line, and then Rand had come up with some stuff on the verse, and we were kind of like, what's the chorus? And we're trying to make it this big, massive chorus, and then Sven came on and it was like, no, you're not, I don't think that's right. You're right. What if you sang, don't say that you want me, say that you need me, let yourself go? And we're like, okay, that's the chorus. And he just came in and mediated, basically. In the
Right.
So,
you do need a mediator.
100%.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
If we don't, we would...
Let's go to Lady Diode. Lady Diode. Okay. What artists or artists would you like to perform with?
I think you guys on your next tour need an opening band. No, we, man, I mean...
There's so many cool new bands too, like MTNT and Phoenix and...
Oh, Phoenix are great, yeah.
Arcade
MGMT,
Fire.
Yes.
Arcade
Arcade
Fire.
Arcade Fire would
I
probably-
Fire are great.
I love bands that kind
That
of
was an
like
interesting mixture. I mean, the Katy Perry thing with you, when you supported
Oh.
Katy Perry, was an interesting sort of pairing.
It was nothing we would have foreseen. I think we
Yeah.
were friends with her, and when we moved to LA, she was one of the people that was just
Right.
kind of hanging out in the group, and so.
Although I did enjoy the bit where you both went and played in white suits. But
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, we spooked her out, just put on the white suits and pretended we were her band, and she didn't realize until halfway into the song. But anyway, yeah, we used to go see her play acoustically, just like one or two of us, and that was everybody in the room.
Nobody in the room.
Yeah, I mean, we were
Oh, yeah,
everybody. So basically, we've known her for a while, and then when she got that big tour, and she couldn't, she wanted a real rock band to kind of offset the pop, I guess, and
no, I mean,
and it came on
I think,
pretty
for
late
me,
that she
I think it's
happens,
actually
but-
a wise move on her front. I mean, in the sense that it adds a credibility to it, and she does attempt to juggle that. I mean, I know her because my kids are fans, and
She's actually a great singer, though. A great songwriter.
she sings very well, and I get the whole thing. I mean, I get the whole shtick. I mean, it all works really well.
Had she been like a pop artist that was just a creation in the studio
Yeah.
with a pretty face, we would have never, ever gone out with her. But because she is such a she's really talented.
Yeah.
She's super talented and very driven, and
and can
we were like,
undoubtedly sing. Yeah.
And she can sing. So
Yeah.
we thought
That
it was
was
kind of an
interesting.
interesting mix.
And then you went over One Republic. What was the other band you had? You had another
Recently,
two-
Civil Twilight. It's a great
No,
band.
there was one other. There was the only one I remember is because they're two bands that had the words joined together.
Oh.
One Republic, yeah.
One Republic, and there was another one that did the same thing, but I
Mhm.
forgot the name.
Need to Breathe
Need to Breathe.
is coming up.
Yes. Oh, it's coming up.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's-
We leave in about a week and a half
Okay.
for
Until
about 45
Christmas.
shows.
No, I'm sitting there. You're going to tour with bands that just don't put any gap in between the name. Where did that come from?
Yeah. We're
Goes
gonna
One
put a question mark
Republic.
after our
Yeah,
name. The
exactly,
Daylight's
yeah.
question mark.
Oh my God. Jay Wallum in the chat room. You know, I was discussing earlier about Jamie Wallum.
You know Jamie? Is that really
He's our
him?
drummer.
What?
Oh,
Yeah.
no way.
Are you kidding me?
Jamie.
I didn't know that.
Kurt, it's Jamie from Tears for Fears. I
wait,
used to be
what's
in a
up?
band called
How's it
Abigail.
going?
And we shared a rehearsal space with Ricky and Randy.
He
They're
took
great guys
our
with
bass
the
amp.
No, you were saying,
install our
you know what we were
rig.
discussing earlier about finding a great drummer, and I said we finally found the great drummer. I was discussing about as a bass player that's as lazy as me, and we had other drummers that won, and now finally we've got one that plays like I play bass.
I didn't
That was
realize that's
Jamie.
who you were talking about. No
That would be
way.
Jamie.
Oh, he is a great drummer. Yeah, he
Yeah.
couldn't have.
He's a bit of a 13-year-old girl, but
Oh, yeah, well. Well,
he
that's
married
what you
now?
have with drummers.
he is. Yes,
Yeah.
he is married. Yes, he has a collection of children. Well, it's a
Also
collection
known as
because
drums.
because one is his and Terry's, and then one's from a previous marriage, and she has one from a previous marriage. So they kind of
Oh yeah, you married Terry.
they're juggling things. But he's been calling me. I left you a message, Jamie, by the way, if you are watching this. But he's
Separately
called me for
from
the
me.
last couple of days, right? And I just got messages on my answer, and so I called him back today. I'm like, what are you, a 13-year-old girl? What's your problem? He's like, I'm just calling. Did you hate me now? I'm like, no, I was busy yesterday.
He is a good drummer though.
He's
But I
a
think he
damn
needs to work on his wardrobe a little bit.
damn good drummer.
No,
Well,
I'm
you
sure.
know.
I don't know. I haven't seen
Nobody
him.
ever sees him. He's behind the drums, you know? Pretty great.
But no, he's actually become a little dapper now. He's wearing kind of like, what you call suspenders. We call them
Oh,
braces.
yeah.
So he's got into that whole thing. He had a hat on for a bit. And
He was always cooler though
Yeah.
than most of us.
for
So
one of
guys-
those kind of.
Yeah.
That's enough about Jamie. TFF fan 28 in the chat room asks, is there any special meaning behind the band name?
None whatsoever. None.
None.
Zilch.
Yeah.
No, I mean we couldn't find a band name, so we made all our friends come over to the house and had a little party and said, okay, let's do it. Let's find one. And by 6 in the morning, we had found it.
Nobody leaves until we have a band
No,
name
yeah.
type thing.
Okay, we're done with the daylights. Fine.
Let's get, yeah,
We're
but it
gone.
felt good. It felt like it was kind of home when we found it.
Well, because then it could also have a question mark after it.
Mm.
It's the right kind of
Or a
thing.
question mark in the middle.
Yeah. The day. The day lights. Or does it?
We actually chose the name a while back before a lot of the names.
Right.
So
There's always been
I.e.
the name.
Beatles. Beatles were just Beatles.
that
Yeah.
was before that.
My favorite, of course, was the. But
The.
Funny Star and others in the chat room ask, any plans on touring soon? We should plug some touring if you're going to be, you were just saying you're
Yeah.
about to go on tour.
Yeah, we leave in just a few weeks' time, and we'll be coming home at the end of the year.
And we should also plug the album, which was out last month, right?
Yeah, it's just
Yes.
like 3.5
3
weeks
weeks ago.
We
Right.
put the record out.
Grab it on iTunes. This is the first time, really.
Do we have a
Yeah,
little?
real
Do we have a
record.
little thing of it? Come
yeah.
on, someone give me a thing of it because we should. And I'll put it back up again, because what I like about it most is of course the fact that it looks like an old '60s record.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, you can get the digital version of that on iTunes. Yeah. You're not going to get this. I want like that size. Though.
Oh, we'll get
It's
you
kinda-
one.
You
We'll
want,
get
you
you
want that.
That's what I want.
It's not real until you have that, huh?
No, it is, and also, I mean, I'm not knocking. I'm not one of those kind of people that sort of, oh, I remember the days, and I wish those days were still here, because I'm not averse to downloading songs. It's far more convenient, and so I don't mind it. And if all the artwork stuff is kind of gone, you know, as far as the artwork I was used to is gone, then I'm okay with that too. What I'm not okay with is people not making a complete piece of work,
Mm.
I know,
just a
just playing
single
one song.
song.
Oh, yeah.
We actually, I'll show you this. We actually tried to make it look as much like a record as possible because we love records so much.
That's the quickest I've ever seen someone open that. Normally it's like, oh,
See, it's kind of got that old.
look, it's even got the sort of like.
See, that's why you got to get the
Yeah.
real,
The real thing.
Yeah.
So much
Although,
better.
see,
It's not the real.
a good salesman would say you should get both.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Sven's job. That's the salesman.
Fun.
He tried to sell it to our mom. We're like, no, dude.
Sean Things in the chat room asks, what is your favorite type of guitar? One with strings?
An old one.
Oh.
Yeah, we like old guitars.
This is
Yeah.
like a 63.
63.
I was just guessing.
Yeah, no, yeah.
I play a
You've got a
77.
photograph. I'm sure you have a photographic memory. Don't you?
I'm very good at remembering. I've got a short-term memory, really good short-term
So
memory.
you were good before tests when you were a kid. And then,
Stupidly good.
Yeah.
I'd just revise the night before and be good.
What's your favorite kind of guitar? 335?
yeah, 335 is the one I use the most. Duesenberg's. I'm sponsored by those
Duesenberg.
guys.
I have a Duesenberg bass.
Oh, do
I
you?
use live,
Oh.
yeah. I don't use. I use a Hofner, but I use an orange Duesenberg bass, which I'd never heard of them before. We played in Germany, and
Yeah.
they invited everyone to the Guitar Factory, and I'm like, oh, go to a Guitar Factory there. I
Yeah.
can't think of anything more dull.
Oh, yeah.
And then the bass player for the sort of band we were playing with, this whole orchestra, and the bass player came back with one of these Duesenberg basses, and I was like, ooh.
Mm.
I want one. So the next time the German promoter came to LA, he bought me one, which was orange. It's gorgeous.
Nathan.
Yeah.
But I'm picking up a Tele this weekend, which actually we used a ton on the record, and then a Firebird is the one that I used the most on the record.
Yeah, Firebird is one you can use on a record. You just don't want to be
Yeah,
seen
take it on a road.
with it. Yeah. You don't want to be seen with that shaped guitar. It sounds so good, but you just
Yeah.
can't be seen with it. Memo Fred in the chat room asks, are any of you single?
Kurt, you're
let me
married.
hazard a guess. No, I'm actually married, but...
We
Sven?
all avoid these conversations.
Sven, are you single?
Well, that's information I think we'll keep.
Keep
right
to
here.
yourselves, yes, yes. Yeah.
Because it changes every day.
Yeah.
No, I'm just joking. It doesn't. It doesn't. No, we don't really discuss relationship stuff because, I mean, do you?
It's very Anderson Cooper of you, I've got to say. Sorry, that was one of the things I had
We
going
like to
last
keep our
week.
mystery there.
And as you should, you know. Mine is not so much of a mystery, but then I've been married a long time with children. So
But we'll definitely announce when one of us gets married.
yeah. Well, you will sell the pictures. Sven will be selling the photographs and doing the guest list. Okay, let's get
We'll
on
let you
more
know.
music because we should get on. We've got a couple more songs left. We'll do one more, and then I'll come say goodbye, and then we'll go out with one. This next one, Weapons, by the way, happens to be my favorite song on the album.
Ours too.
So thank you again to the Daylights. I'll come back, say goodbye, and we have a couple more songs.
I walked along the road today and saw myself in a tired face, and 1,000 more looked back at me. I could almost feel the heat. And the sun rose high above the trees, and the birds were singing over me. But beneath my feet, I felt the sting. It was the earth remembering. Yeah. Lay down your weapons, boy. Right now, it sure to change the world. Under it all, you're not so tough. Everyone just wants to fall And I used to think we're just the same, from different towns and with different names. Do you remember what we said will never change? Or did we forget? Lay down your weapons, boy. Right now, you should have changed the world. Under it all, you're not so tough. Everyone just wants to fall in love.
walked along to the edge of town, and there I threw my burdens down. And looking up, at last I felt you'll never love if you protect yourself. Lay down your weapons, boy, right now, right now. Under it all, you're not so tough. Everyone wants to fall in love. Lay down your weapons, boy, right now, right now. You should change the world. Under it all, you're not so tough. Every one of us just wants to fall. Lay down your weapons. Lay down your weapons. Thank you. Thanks so much.
Am I back? Am I back? Yes. I'm just quickly coming in to say goodnight. I'm going to move this for a second. Of course, a huge thanks to the Daylights for being here tonight. The record again, Daylights. You can either buy it. Actually, it's the daylights.com is your website, right? Yeah. So daylights.com, which links you to, because it just links you to Facebook and everywhere, and where to buy it and everything else. iTunes, so go buy it. In fact, buy that, and as Sven said, buy this and the digital version. Be smart. I'd like to thank, of course, the crew. I'd like to thank New Tech TriCaster, who provide all the equipment to make it possible. We still need high definition, but, you know, I'm just saying. And watch the other shows from this network. By the way, we are filming live from this very glamorous garage in the glamorous San Fernando Valley. And if you could really see it wide, you'd realize, because it goes for miles that way and that way. Miles, I'm telling you. It's very, very high-tech and glamorous. But watch the other streaming garage channels. Stupid for movies, stupid for fantasy, stupid for fantasy football, stupid for Dexter, I believe now, isn't it? Yep. Is that your newer one?
Yep.
Because that, of course, is Cat. Right? Woo! I give myself a woo! And you can see them all at YouTube. Just go youtube.com/streaminggarage. No, not .com. Streaming Garage, but remember there's no G at the end of streaming because, as I've mentioned before, Mike doesn't know how to spell. Okay, so next week join us for Matthew Sweet, which should be a fun show. And again, huge thanks to the Daylights. Oh, yes. I forgot one thing. Because you know what? Sven has been an inspiration. We are now selling things. No. Because if you want to be a sponsor for Strip Down Live, now that we're actually reached our 8th show, we've decided we're definitely going to continue. Because you know what? It's fun. We like it. And so we're now starting to look for sponsors. So if you or your company are interested, get in touch with Arlene, whose thing is... Oh, no, right to sponsor. See, I wish to see if, you know what, if we had sponsors, see, the auto cue would be there. Just right, it would actually be in the camera, right there. Sponsor at stripdownlive.com. Sponsor at stripdownlive.com. Write to sponsor at stripdownlive.com for more information. Anyway, back to the acting. It's been a great show. Thanks to the Daylights. Thanks for Ricky, Randy, Sven for being here tonight. Thank you very much, guys. And they will play us out. And we will see you next week.
Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for everybody out there watching us. And thanks, Curt. Thanks for having us, man. It's an honor. For real.
Feel free to, write us, get in touch with us. We'll write you back. We'd rather have friends than fans anyway. This is called Wins and Losses.
I've seen 1,000 suns that burn in the city of my eyes. I couldn't take my turn. It's a matter of fact. It's a matter of fact. I can taste your lipstick slowly melt away. I don't wanna miss it. Bright lights and broken crosses, count our wins and forget our losses. Open up our eyes, won't look back again. Open up our eyes. I've heard 1,000 promises, hardly a warning. Sometimes I spend more time on the ground than on 2 feet walking. But I can taste your lipstick slowly melt away. I don't wanna miss it. Lights and broken crosses, count our wins and forget our losses. Open up our eyes, won't look back again. Open up our eyes. Oh, I wanna feel something. I wanna feel something real. I wanna feel something. Oh, I wanna feel something. I wanna feel something real. I wanna feel something now. Right now. Right now. Bright lights and broken crosses, count our wins and forget our losses. Open up our eyes, won't look back again. Open up our eyes.
just left clapping on my own. Well, welcome to episode 8 of Stripped Down Live. We're back, and I'm happy to say tonight we have... Who do we have tonight?
The Daylights.
Oh, you could at least give me more than that. The Daylights tonight, who are unbelievable, I think. I mean, for me, this is such a joy to do the show because I actually get to, like, well, not necessarily pick all the bands, but I get to, like, choose bands that I love, and this happens to be one of those bands. So they will be here with us tonight. They're playing, obviously, acoustically. They don't normally, so we're stripping them down. We're going to get the songs in a rough form. So we will come back later. Obviously, you can follow us at strippeddownlive.com. You can follow us on Twitter at strippedlive. You can even follow us on Facebook. Tonight, I think that Streaming Garage, if I'm not mistaken, which is our little YouTube channel, may go over 1.5 million viewers. Is that correct? 1.5 million viewers. That's if more than 24 people tune in tonight. And we hope they will. So, without further ado, please welcome to the studio the Daylights.
I was born with a last name, made of lovers, sinners, fighters, and saints. There is no one left for no to blame. I am a king, a thief, a beggar, they sell water on TV, says it makes you holy, like a sparkle in the dark. She kicks the habit, the lights and not the cigarette. I would go and make a mess of it, give everything, but there's nothing to give. She said, hurry, he said, take the money and run. What's the worry? I don't know, I just wanna have some fun. I feel Thank you. For the Daylights, thank you so much for having us. Ricky's going to sing this next song.
It's called Rogue Machine. This is our new single that just got on the radio. I think I've never heard it. Have you guys heard it? People keep calling us and saying it's on the radio. So you guys got to request it. Let's do it together. Cool.
I broke a promise to myself and took my heart down off the shelf. Fine day. What's the point in a Kevlar vest? You put a hole into my chest. 2 weeks are impossible. Don't say that you want me. Say that you need me. Let yourself go. Don't try pretending there is no feeling left in your bones. Chase a rabbit in the ground and wait for hours, no sight or sound. Looking for an inch of room. Stretch your leaves across the road from Montreal to Mexico. Don't say that you want me, say that you need me. Let yourself go. Don't try pretending there is no feeling. We are intersecting lines. We crash and fly like a road machine. Light it burns my eye, and it's all I see. Don't say that you want me, say that you need me. Let yourself go. Don't try pretending there is no feeling. Say that you want me, say that you need me. Let yourself go. What's the point in a Kevlar vest? You put a hole into my chest. 2 weeks are impossible. Stretch your legs across the road from Montreal to Mexico. Thank you guys. Thanks. This is fun. We never play like this. How are you guys doing out there in the internet world? Yeah? Have we ever done this before? Of course we've never done this before. Yeah. What does that mean? Oh, no way. Say horrible things about us. Not good things? Okay, let's play, you wanna play Outsider? Yeah, let's do it. Alright. This is for all the nerds out there, because we're one of them. Collectively. We're nerd.
You
We
should
are
speak
a
for
nerd.
yourself when you say those sorts of things.
this is what it feels like. The 87th floor of a high-rise in New York. There's something new this time, and I've known it since I was young, and I feel it in my bones. Yeah, but this is how it's always meant to go. Right here above the street, watching the city spin beneath. I couldn't help but feel like an outsider, lifted above the ground, seeing for the first time now I became outsider. I couldn't help but stare when I caught them standing there. Oh, I could see it in their eyes. Yeah, I saw it in their eyes. I can hear the song 'cause it's been playing all along. Oh, can you hear the singing? Oh, and I've known it since I was young, and I feel it in my bones. Yeah, but this is how it's always meant to go. Right here upon the street, watching the city spin beneath. I couldn't help but feel like an outsider, lifted above the ground, seeing for the first time now. This is where I became outsider. Above the street, watching the city spin beneath. Lifted above the ground, seeing for the first time now. Outside.
Everybody on Internet World, sing with us right now.
La 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 la
I can just stand right here.
Yeah, you just hang out there.
There's another stool right
Well, we're going to grab another
Oh,
stool.
here we go. You take this one.
You see how organized we are here?
Very organized.
So sharp.
I like it that way. Scoot back.
You know, the... is that a glockenspiel or a vibraphone? It's a glockenspiel. The glockenspiel player always gets to go.
Yeah.
Yes! We gotta say it with a lisp, though.
You have to say with
Glockenspiel.
the glockenspiel girl always gets to go.
Do you think it's because they think he's Tinder?
I think, well, it was, you know, it's a phrase I stole from you, you know.
He doesn't watch his own webisodes.
You don't watch the webisode? It was a whole thing of you. It was actually a vibraphone, I think you were playing.
Yeah.
But it was the vibraphone player always
I use
gets
that
to
line
go.
every time I did an overdub.
Right.
So with a better instrument.